7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
So we're going to start on part 2. So I decided to split this video up into 2 videos. So this is part 2 of Ethel's chocolate chip cake, and we're going to be making the icing and actually decorating this cake. So I'm going to be using some pecans. I'm going to just take them, I want to say about a cup of pecans. Because remember, you're going to, after these pecans come out of the oven from roasting, we're going to let them cool down, and then we're going to toss them together with extra chocolate chips. And we're going to put them around the cake. So they're going to serve as decoration, and they're going to also make the cake really tasty. You guys, let me know if you like this angle that's down lower and closer to the table. I'm trying to play with the angles on the second camera, so just, let me know. So, my mother, when she was not having any emotional problems, because like I said, I won't say emotional problems, she suffered from one of the same condition that my sister suffered from, and I don't want to get it wrong, but it's schizoaffective bipolar. I mean, like schizophrenia. It's like it's a form of schizophrenia. And my mother suffered from it, and it's like around the holidays, she would always be in her right state of mind. She would always be happy. She loved the holidays. She would spend a lot of time with us. My mom did not work very much when I was growing up, so yes, we did get food stamps. We stayed in some apartments that were really nice. I don't know how they look now, but they were really nice when we stayed there. But we had a 3-bedroom apartment. And my mom, when she was okay and stable, we had a really good childhood. My mom would take us to the park. We would have picnics. We would have tea parties. And I'm talking about not like little play tea parties where you pour water in the cup. We would actually have like hardcore real tea parties where she would make finger sandwiches. She would teach us how to hold our teacups. She would teach us how to, how to make tea. Like, she was real adamant about making sure that we had manners when we went out into the world, despite of some of the things that she did. Mom was very prim and proper. She was very ladylike when she wasn't having an episode. But she was a little, she could be rough around edges, kind of like me, and like her mother, okay? But she loved to bake. It would be times when we would come home from school, and if y'all grew up like I grew up, y'all know everybody get their food stamps, they cook everything, but she wasn't one of those people who would cook everything and we wouldn't have no food for the rest of the month. But when we got food stamps, honey, my mom would cook good meals. I mean, she would budget herself out to where we would always have plenty of food. Unless, like I said, she was not in her right mind. But she loved to cook for us. I think with the proper help and dedication, my mom would have made somebody a very good wife. But the men that she fell in love with, they didn't always love her the way she needed to. And my mom needed a lot of help, and I think people just turned a blind eye to the situation. And they didn't take her to get any help. And people took advantage of that because they knew, I feel like they knew like something was wrong with me. So we're going to put these in the pan. And you want to let these bake in the oven for about, I say, 5 to 10 minutes. I just like to take a piece of butter and just put it on there, then go back into the oven and stir it around every 2 minutes. And you want to make sure that when you pull these out of the oven, you place them on another plate or something, because if you leave them on the sheet, then they're going to continue to cook. So I'm going to grab some butter, put this on here, and pop this in the bottom rack of the oven because I have my cakes on top. If you've never baked a cake before, don't try this. But I'm going to pop these in for a few minutes and let them toast up. I don't like my pecans to get really dark. I mean, it really does bring out the flavor, but I don't like that strong nutty taste. I just want them to have a little bit of a salty, buttery, you know, luscious kind of taste. Also, if you don't have, if you're using unsalted butter, just take a little sprinkle of salt to give them a nutty, salty taste. If you have salted butter, then you're fine. Just leave it alone. Alright, love, so our pecans are done. And when you're doing your pecans, make sure they're in the middle of the oven on the top rack. I'm just going to spread them out and let them continue to cool down. And you want to make sure that these are completely cool before you mix them in with the chocolate chips, because they will melt on you if you don't do that. Make sure I get all those pecans. Alright, so our pecans are done. I'm going to let these cool, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with our icing. So for the icing, you're going to need 1 bag of confectionate sugar, 2 sticks of butter, a little bit of some vanilla, a little bit of milk, and some butter baby. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just let these cool down, and then we're going to set them to the side, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start making our icing. Alright, loves, so we are back, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with our icing. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our cream cheese and our butter, and we're going to cream these together. Alright, now that we've done that, we're going to just, you know, scrape down the side of the bowl. And you want to make sure that that cream cheese is at room temperature, so it just smooths out really, really good when you use the blender. So today we're going to need a lot of powdered sugar. So we're going to be using this whole bag, honey, which is about, I say, well, maybe not the whole bag, but I never measured out, but just in case if you guys are ever wondering, it's 8 cups of powdered sugar. If not, just use the whole bag, honey. Oop. So we're going to start stirring some of that in. Powder sugar down. Alright, let's just open this bag up a little bit. Usually when I make icing, I like to use the is it Dixie? No, Domino's powdered sugar, but they didn't have that in the commissary. So I'm going to add a little bit of milk. I'm making a scrape down the bowl and get all that off the side. Y'all, I'm really enjoying making this cake, you know. What do the lonely do at Christmas? Y'all like Christmas music? I love Christmas music. You know what I'm saying? What do they do? What do they do at Christmas? That's an old school Christmas song. You know, that's like the blues off. That's like the 70s, I want to say. The 60s or the 70s. 'Tis the season beneath the mistletoe. If you know that song, name it. Oh my God. I love baking during the holidays. Y'all, I have my moments when I'm like really sad and I just don't want to do something, want to do anything during the holidays, but you know, I always try to get myself back intact. So we're going to go ahead and add in the vanilla. So now, what we're going to do is just scrape the bowl down again. And just make sure that you don't have any powdered sugar like in clumps at the bottom of the bowl. On the sides. And you want this icing to be creamy. And this is perfect. Like I said, you're going to need a lot of icing for this recipe. So, we are done with the icing. The cakes are still cooling down. We're going to continue to let them cool down. And once they're nice and cool, we're going to come back and we're going to decorate the cake with all those yummy chocolate chips and pecans. See you guys back here in a little second. You know? Because I love you. I'm going to stop. But I'm not going to stop. Alright, y'all. For some reason, the camera on the side cut off and then the main camera cut off too. So, you probably missed me like putting the icing on the cake. If you did, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. That is so crazy. I've never had both cameras cut off at the same time. So now I'm just icing it, just putting some icing on the outside, you know. And you want this icing to be really creamy because that's how she made it. You know, when they used to make cakes back in the day, they didn't use a lot of like stiff icing. You wanted your icing to be real smooth. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing it the way I saw her do it. Matter of fact, my mama used to use a butter knife when she would ice her cakes. Put the icing on her cake. She would use a straight butter knife. She didn't have an offset spatula or anything like that. She would use what she had. Yep, that's what she did, y'all. She used the butter knife. Or her little spatula. The spatula is actually giving me better coverage. The way I want it to cover. I can remember for a long time, my mom did not have a hand mixer. So even when she made everything, she would mix it by hand. And she would, she said, you know, if your butter is melted, if your butter and stuff is melted at room temperature, you can get away with mixing it by hand. And I would see her make stuff by hand without a blender. It wasn't until I got much older that my mama actually got a hand blender. So she never had like a food processor or anything. Everything she did by hand. This smells so good. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to prepare the pecans. Get a bowl and just toss the pecans and the chocolate chips together, and then we're going to be right back and we're going to place them all over the cake. Alright, love, so what we're going to do now, I made sure both of the cameras are functioning properly. We're going to take those pecans and we're going to toss them in with the chocolate chips. And we're going to just toss them together. And this smells so delicious, y'all. So I always like to start by sprinkling some on the top. That's what she used to do. Well, this is my first time making it, but this is what she would do. She would start on the top. And go around the sides, just like I do when I do cakes like this. But I really got this from my mom. I used to see her do this with her cakes all the time when she was like putting pecans or something on them. She would just go around the side with her hand. Start at the top and roll down. And that's what I'm doing. You know what would be so good with this, y'all? Like if I had pretzels. I never thought about that. I'll have to play with that. But yeah, this is what she would do. Like I said, when you do this, I would recommend using like the flour. And my countertop is clean, y'all. The flour and the butter to do your pan, because I feel like that made my cake a little crunchy by you using the Bake Joy. I'm losing all of it, y'all. I promise the counter is clean. Just go around and clean up the sides and put that on there. I'm trying to make sure I cover the whole cake. Cover a little bit more at the edges of it. No, this cake is so big. This is probably why we used to be like having sugar moments when we were kids. Like she would feed us and we would crash. This is probably why. Alright y'all, this is my mother's chocolate chip cake. I'm just cleaning up the edges of it. I'm gonna put those on the top. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean out the counter. And I'm gonna take a couple of pictures with the cake. Just wipe my hands off. And get everything all cleaned up, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna cut into this cake to see how it tastes. You guys can get a good angle on the side of it. Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. What I'll do is I'll take this clip and I'll just make it the main clip so you guys can see. But this is just so pretty. It's rustic. It's beautiful. It reminds me of Mama. And I hope you guys enjoyed the second part of this video. Alright, loves. So alright, loves. So we are done with this video. The cake turned out excellent. The only issue I had is that I did not toss the chocolate chips in enough flour before I added them into the cake batter. So some of them did sink. But I will say that little crunchiness in between the layers with the chocolate chips worked out just fine. It's okay if they don't all, you know, be suspended in mid batter, if they just sink a little bit, because it actually gave the cake a nice little crunch, and it is fabulous. I love this recipe. This is probably one of the best white cakes recipes that I've used. It's really moist. Like you could just take the back of your fork and just rub it down in there. That pecan and chocolate chip. I'm trying not to eat too much of it because, you know, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I started filming this like at 1 o'clock, around 1:30, 2 o'clock. So it's like early in the morning. But this cake is delicious. It's just an old school cake recipe that my mom just docked up a little bit, put her own little spin on. So that's why we call it Ethel's chocolate chip cake. It's very easy. It's very holiday friendly, and I just thought that I should share this video with you guys. So I'm glad that I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this is part 2, and this is the decorating and the icing of the cake and me tasting it, and it's just delicious, y'all. It is. So it's fabulous. So today is December the 6th, and we are burying one of our presidents. When I was a little, I think I was in like kindergarten when Bush was president, and I just always remember him being like my first president. And my condolences to his family. After reading his book a few years ago and just looking at documentaries of his life, he was really a family man, a very honest man, a very loving husband, a great father. And he also was a great mentor to the people around him. So he's truly going to be missed. And I'm not going to lie, like I was a fan of his socks. I always wanted to see what kind of socks he was wearing, because y'all know that was his thing, like, you know, to have like bum ass socks. So rest in peace, President Bush. And I know the family will probably never see this, but my condolences with y'all. And yesterday was a National Day of Mourning here on Post. And I just wanted to say, keep their family that family in your prayers, because you know when the patriarch and the matriarch of a family dies, it can be really difficult for the families to kind of like stick together and hold on to those things. So I hope that his family can still honor his wishes and stay close. With that being said, I love you guys. I'll see you back here in a couple of days. I'm going to take my makeup off. I'm going to watch the funeral. Then I'm going to go to sleep. And then I'm going to get up and do 2 more videos. And I'm going to try to pump out about 6 videos in the next 48 hours. So I love you guys. I will see you back here later. And have a good day or night whenever y'all see this. Remember to treat people the way you want to be treated. Respect goes a long way in this world. So remember to respect everybody you meet. Old, young, small, little, disabled. It doesn't matter. Treat them kindly. If you have loved ones who are stationed overseas, give them a call. If they can't make it home for Christmas, make sure that you can send them a little piece of home. And I guess that's it for today. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all back here soon. And food is love.